Wilson. The Daisy Award was put into place by a family about 1999-2000. They had a young gentleman by the name of Patrick Barnes, was 33 years old. He passed away after a quick illness and 8 weeks in the hospital, and his parents were so impressed by the nursing care that he received and how wonderful people were that they put together this Daisy Award, and it's to honor the superhuman strength and work that nurses do for patients and families every day.
So Holly was nominated by Elizabeth and Amy. And today is Amy's birthday, so they will read their note. Just a little bit about Holly. Holly's been with us since September of 2013. She got her ADN at St. Luke's in Sioux City, started out in Sheldon, Iowa, kind of a jack of all trades at a small hospital there. In 2008, she moved to Davenport and became an emergency department RN at Genesis. Holly then decided to do some traveling, and she heard from one of our coworkers out in Arizona about what a great place this is to work, so she ended up here with us, and we are so happy to have her. Her family and friends have joined us today. Her wife Candy, Joyce and Wayne, Becky, Susan, Cheryl, Kim, and Derek, so they're all very proud of you. And Derek, I'm thinking about it. So we'll let Elizabeth and Ava come up.
Come up. All right. There's next nearby.
Yes, on the box.
Thank you.
Right there.
So let me start off by, I'd like to nominate Holly Olson from the ED as a deserving recipient of the Daisy Award. This nurse's clinical skill, especially her compassionate care, exemplify the kind of nurse that our patients, families, and our staff recognize as an outstanding role model. During the course of my nursing career at UIHC, I've always been extremely proud of the work we do here. This summer was the first time I was on the receiving end of seeking the specialized care that we are so fortunate to offer in our community and state. In the early evening hours of July 29, 2015, I quickly recognized that my 8-year-old daughter, who's now 9 today, was in distress. She was out riding her Razor scooter with her neighborhood children when a neighbor alerted us that she had taken a pretty bad fall. Even after reminding her to wear her helmet, she did not have it on. Within 20 minutes of her fall, she was vomiting, had visual disturbances, and an altered mental status. I made the decision to drive her to the hospital as my husband looked for someone to watch our 2 younger children. During that 10-minute drive, I experienced some of the scariest moments I've ever dealt with as a mother. Ava began drifting in and out of consciousness, and I feared I wasn't going to get her to the emergency room in time. Upon arrival, the triage team immediately recognized the serious nature of her injury. My husband arrived just as Ava was emergently taken to the CT scan. Almost the instant she was back from testing, the pediatric physician covering the ER informed us of the diagnosis. Ava was suffering from an epidural hemorrhage caused by a temporal lobe fracture that cut a vessel likely at the time of impact from fall. I remember hearing neurosurgery was on the way, and she was being scheduled Class A for the OR. Even in the blur of activity, I recall a sense of calm. The ER nurse, Holly, was my rock. She helped prep Ava for the trip to the OR by starting her IV and medications, and her calm demeanor and gentle touch kept Ava calm and allowed me to keep it together for my daughter. Even though Ava was under her care for less than 30 to 60 minutes, my daughter woke up from surgery the next day with a note, a beautiful flower and a balloon from an amazingly sweet nurse that simply said, "You are a brave girl, get well soon." Her combination of professionalism and empathy are exactly what we needed, and we're so thankful that night. And I'll add a little to say that being a wonderful nurse doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to heroics. Just even your calm demeanor. I have vivid recollections that night, and remember looking over and knowing it was going to be okay, and knowing that even though this was your everyday, something about that connection that night and that just few moments made me feel better as we wheeled her into the surgery. So, just to kind of recap the rest of the evening and the events that happened, so she went into surgery and it went perfectly. Around 1 a.m. she was admitted to the PICU with so many friendly faces in the early morning hour. I've been up in the PICU in my former roles in ECMO for many years, and even though it felt like VIP treatment, that special treatment that we received was a part of their every day for every patient. As a parent now, I realize how impactful the approach to care is and so deeply appreciated by the families. Ava's special blankie and teddy bear made the trip to the hospital with her. They've been a source of comfort for nearly her entire life. The morning after surgery, she started asking about her injury and could feel the bandage on her head. She became very tearful when we had to explain that in order for the doctors to fix her injury, they had to shave off her hair. The PICU nurse on duty heard me having to explain this tough news and decided to lift her spirits. Seeing that Ava was attached to her Teddy, the nurse decided to bring a matching hat for Teddy to wear. That simple gesture by the PICU nurse allowed me to take a breath of relief for the first time after the accident, seeing Teddy with a hat, the same as her, put a little sweet smile on her face, and at that moment I knew Ava was coming back to us. During the holiday season, as my family began to reflect upon the past year, we had so many things to be thankful for. We're thankful for the expertise of the faculty and staff at UIHC, UI Children's Hospital, and in particular the emergency room, the PICU, and the neurosurgery team. We are thankful that due to their expertise and professionalism, Ava made a 100% full recovery. Thank you doesn't seem quite to cover the depth of my appreciation for what the teams did, but thank you. You literally saved my little girl's life.
So, we've now officially met Holly. My name is Kevin. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer. I get the most joyous part of this process, which is to present you with a lot of different awards to demonstrate our pride in you and our thanks for the incredibly compassionate care you provided not only to Ava, but to her family as well. First of all, you get the beautiful bouquet of daisies that are a reflection of the Daisy Foundation. Those are yours to keep. We'll leave them here for now. This is also an official award. We'll take a photograph in a bit, but this is an award that is customary for all those that are honored as Daisy nurses through the Daisy Foundation. And it is yours to keep and should be serves as a memento for this presentation. We also have, and this is absolutely gorgeous, this is a soapstone statue that is created by artisans in the country of Zimbabwe. And they are also commissioned by the Daisy Foundation, and these are presented to Daisy nurses every month around the world, and it's called the Healer's Touch. And it's called the Healer's Touch because it reflects and I think just really beautifully portrays the compassionate care that not only nurses in general, but specifically nurses like Holly provide to our patients 24/7. So that's really cool. And last but not least, well, not last, but you do get a beautiful nylon bag. And then one of the national sponsors for the Daisy Foundation is Cinnabon. And Cinnabon is important to the family because when J. Patrick Barnes was very ill, the only thing that he would request at the end of his life was to eat Cinnabon. So his family consistently brought that as his primary source of nutrition. So they've developed an affinity for the organization, and they serve as a national sponsor. We don't have a Cinnabon, but we have the Kelowna Bakery, and it's as close as we can get. But we do have Cinnabon cinnamon, so you and your colleagues can enjoy these after we leave. And then last but not least is this, it's a beautiful daisy pen. And I know you probably have, a lot of the nurses pack these things full of pens, but yours fell off. Well, now you've got room for it. It was just something that's very, very unique, and only 12 nurses a year are awarded this very special pen. So by wearing it, again, it's a reflection of your contribution to patient care. So we thank you very much. It's our pleasure to have you. You're just an extraordinary nurse. And now we're going to be taking photographs with your family, your friends, with the staff, and with the patients. So I'm going to take